My name is Chris, and I'm an addict. So Nancy finagled some way for me to get up here today to speak. So I'm blessed to come and share my strengths and hopes with you guys. So I came from the city of Compton. I was born and raised. My mom was an addict. So when I first was born, I was born at Killer King Hospital, Martin Luther King, for those who know. She left me on the bus stop. And my grandfather was driving down the street and was like, "Sounds a baby on the bus stop." Busted a U-turn, pulled up, picked up the baby, and walked me in there. And they was like, "Well, Mr. Eugene, that's your grandson. We don't know where your granddaughter at." And he said, excuse my language, Miss Roxy, he said, "What does this dumb bitch do? Where is she at?" They said, "We don't know." So of course, him and my great grandmother, they took me in and raised me to be about 6 or 7 years old when my mom came back into my life. So they said, "Okay, we're gonna go let you live with your mom for a little bit, get acquainted with her, get to know your mom. She's an addict. This is your mom. You have to go stay with your mom." Went to go stay with my mom. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I was 12 and she relapsed. So her friend was like, "Okay, you ain't got no more money for drugs. What you gonna give me?" So she gave her friend me. So I was basically, whatever this woman said do, I had to do. Till my great grandfather came to look for me again and was like, "I ain't seen my grandson, my great grandson, where is he?" She said, "Hell, I don't know, he at the dope house over there off of 5th and Grand." Ran up in there, came to get me, got me checked out or whatever. And then my grandfather was an old spiritual man, so he didn't believe in psychiatrists and nothing like that. So he said, "Deal with your pain. You have to deal with it." I didn't deal with it too well. So the stuff I've been through, as he got older and sicker, he started to pass me over to my uncles. And that's when I developed the street life. My addiction is the street life. I love the money, the women, and the fast cars. You couldn't tell me anything. I didn't care. You couldn't tell me not to go left or go right. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. But as growing up, he still embedded to me that you're a man. First and foremost, you don't bow down to no man. You don't do anything you don't want to do, and speak your mind. I don't care what they say. But he didn't know at the same time as raising me to be that good man, work hard, do what I need to do, my uncles was molding me into something different. So I developed this hatred for my mom because I'm like, "Oh, you're an addict, you don't know what you're talking about." So one day, my uncles rolled up a blunt. It was me, my friend, and my cousins. They said, "We're gonna go outside real quick, we'll be right back." They went outside to go do whatever they had to go do. We hit that blunt. One friend took off running out the house, down the street. "Ah! Ah!" And I hit it, and I was just, calm. And I was like, "What the hell is wrong with this dude?" But I remembered in the back of my head, he said, "Don't touch that shit. We be right back. Don't touch our shit." All right, cool. We did it anyway, because I do what I want to do, right? So he hit it, ran down the street, and you hear one of my uncles, "Oh, fuck, the police finna come." So I ran and hid, and my friend pissed on himself. And so I was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you, man?" "I'm scared of your uncles." I never knew why they were scared of my uncles until they started to mold me more and more. So then I got caught in the gang life. I never gang banged, but I got caught running them streets, getting the money. I was taught by my uncles, you pull a gun, you use it. Taught by my grandfather, you pull a gun, you use it. And my grandfather had a respect for the police, but he didn't allow the disrespect. So when I was 15, a cop told me, "Get on the ground." I told him, "Go fuck yourself." No. They guffled me up, put me in cuffs, send me up to the courthouse. Who's there to get me? Grandpa. Get your ass out of here. Stupid, dumb, whatever you're doing. So then he shipped me back with my mom again. She didn't care. So I was smoking weed, hanging out with my uncles, the Six Deuce East Coast Crips, the Compton Crips, hanging out with all them, learning the lifestyle and how to move. So they told me, hey, if you need to, you need money, you need to know how to get it. Here you go. Gave me a dope sack, put me on the corner. Started selling dope at 16, carrying a gun in my back. I'm invincible now because now I have that mentality. Nobody gives a fuck about me. My mom left me on the bus stop. I can die any day. I don't care. All right, cool. Fast forward a little bit. I was doing what I was doing, buying cars, hanging out with women, because everybody your friend when you got a flashy car and a pocket full of money, right? So I'm hanging out with them, and my great grandmother called me and told me, your sister's in some trouble, go help her. Her boyfriend's beating the shit out of her. Okay, we go over there. I see my sister laying on the floor. We throw this dude out the third story window, me and my youngest brother. And he fall, and he lands on the car. We go downstairs to finish the job, right? Because I'm a badass. I tell my little brother take off because I see the police coming. Caught my first attempted murder case. The judge said, Mr. Christopher, what was you thinking? I said he deserved to die. He put his hands on my sister. And I said he had the audacity to try to walk away and live. The judge said, oh, so you think you're a hard ass. How does 20 years sound? I don't care. Send me away. Not knowing what was lies ahead of me, right? Fought the case for 2 years, back and forth, till finally I got a judge that was like, you know what? You're a confused young man. I'm tired of seeing this case in my courtroom. And if it was my sister, I probably would have did the same thing, case dismissed. Whoa. Oh, I'm invincible. The judge can't stop me? Okay. So I start hanging out more and more, getting into trouble, selling drugs or whatever. Went to my mom's house to check on her, do a normal check. She stole all the drugs. Fuck. Oh, man. I said, I called the Connect. Hey, man, I'm a little short paying you. He said, I got 2 bullets that say you're going to find that money to pay me. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it, definitely. Give me some time, And what happened was, how can I bring myself to hurt the person that birthed me, right? But still in the back of my mind, I'm like, she doesn't love me, she doesn't care. Smoked some more weed, got real high, caught another case. I'm like, all right, landed in Man Central. And I'm like, all right, I gotta pay the dope man. Fuck him, fuck my mama, I'm on my own again. In Man Central, I'm a non-affiliate. Even though I hang with the gang members, I'm not a gang member. So this overweight black dude, bigger than me, came downstairs and said, okay, it's non-affiliate fight night, let's go. I said, what the fuck is that? He said, you gonna fight? I said, I ain't fighting shit, you got me fucked up. And I got my ass beat by all the gang members and everybody that wanted me to turn up. All right, cool, whatever. Here comes great-grandfather Eugene again, post my bail, got me out. Fighting that case, going back and forth, and I finally started to realize, okay, whatever, I gotta maneuver and live life, right? I gotta try to go on the straight path. So I found my daughter's mother, God rest her soul, my first daughter's mother, and I got married at a young age. So I started slowing down, going to the 9 to 5, but it wasn't feeding my addiction because now I don't have the nice ass car. I got this bucket I bought for $800 from Pablo. So even though I was married and I had a daughter, so I feel you because I wasn't there when she first was born. I was running the streets, getting locked up, getting bailed out, locked up, bailed out. So I missed all that, ultrasounds and doctor's appointments because I was too busy leaning on my own understanding. And finally, I took a ride one night. I took a ride with one of my good friends, His name was James. Say, hey man, come take a ride with me, man. I'm just gonna go pick up this car. I said, okay. And he said, but first, I gotta pick up the money to go get the car. I said, all right, cool, whatever. Smoking weed, getting high, all right, cool, whatever. And never realizing that I was just trying to hide the pain of the childhood, getting left on the bus stop, getting sold to feed my mom's addiction, getting left behind, or feeling not wanted. Because I came from a sibling of 7, but everybody was in their own world. And I was the bastard child because out of all the 7 kids, I was the only one with a different daddy. So we go on the car ride, and I see him get out, and he freaking started robbing the place. So y'all know the rules of street life. If he go, I gotta go. So I went there behind him, got locked up that night, didn't make it back home to the wife or the kids. So I'm in court, and I'm gonna back up a little bit because I'm all over the place. My grandfather took ill, and before I went that night, before I went to that ride, I went to see my grandfather before he passed. And he told me, he said, hey, eventually, son, because he called me his little son, he said, hey, you gotta live, hey, baby, you gotta live life to the fullest, you gotta live right. You can't keep living the past that you're living. You can't keep hardening the pain. You can't keep going backwards because you keep knocking on the devil's door, something gonna happen. I said, oh, grandfather, don't worry, man, I got you. You gonna be here, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna come see you tomorrow. As I was going on that Man Central bus, leaving booking, and I finally got settled in, that's when I got that phone call that, Pawpaw dead. So I spazzed out in Man Central. And what happened was, dude walked up to me and said, you a non-affiliate? I said, yeah. He said, I'm gonna take all your store tonight. My grandma sent me that store right after Pawpaw died. I beat the shit out of him, caught another case. Now I got the Bloods and Crips on the yard plotting against me, talking about he a problem, he gotta get up out of here. He a non-affiliate that's 2 turned up. Y'all know it's Tunas, but I'm 2 turned up now. I'm not controlled. So I was like, so when he told me we're gonna get you up out this yard, I said over my dead body. I said, I'm gonna get y'all out before I go. Got into a big ass fight, ended up getting 3 ribs broke, a broken nose, and a fractured skull. As I'm laying in the hospital bed in the jail, I'm like, okay, God, if you get me out of this, I'll do right. Ain't that the same prayer we do every time? You get me out of this one last time, I'm good. So, you see, I finally got out. I finally got bonded over to prison, and then when I got to prison, I'm blaming everybody else. Oh, it's my mama's fault. It's the bitch fault. They called saying we was robbing the place. It's everybody's fault. And this OG cat was like, look, youngster, till you start doing right or finding something to do or calling, you're going to blame everybody else but yourself. So you need to stop being a bitch and man up. So I got off on him. He called me a bitch, so I had to get off on him. I got off on him, ended up in the hole. And the dude next to me in the cell was like, hey, man, what you in here for? I said, oh, man, this OG cat called me a bitch, so I got off on him. He said, you got to be the most stupidest motherfucker ever. I said, man, I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no guidance. I don't know what to do. He said, keep your head down, get as much education as you can, find something you like to do, and get the fuck up out of here. Get back to your family. I said, all right. So I got introduced to Celebrate Recovery and started learning about addicts, the way they act, a way that just not being a drug addict, you have other addictions, sex, all kinds of stuff. So I learned, and I was able to learn and reform myself. And then I like to cook. So then I got into the kitchen in the prison, started cooking, and what came up was they said, hey, you can get out a whole year early, as long as you don't get no more write-ups, you can get bonded out to this program. I said, all right, kept my head down, went to all my classes, cooked, survived 4 riots in prison, Did what I had to do to get out. Got out. Cool. They sent me to Health Right 360 by MacArthur Park. When we first come off the bus, Cynthia right out. When we first come out the bus, they all welcome. And then you see this PO, he walk out, he's like, CDC number. I had that thing remembered by heart. He straps the ankle monitor on my ankle, and he's like, when we send you somewhere, you go that place. Do not go outside the coverage area, your ass will go back to jail. Do you understand? I said, yeah. He said, yes, what? What? Because in prison, they like, don't serve me. And so it's like, what? He's like, yes, what? I like, yes, sir. He was like, no, what's my name? Look at my badge. What's my name? I'm like, man, you got me fucked up. Still had that mentality because we changed, but the person is still inside of it. We just reformed. So he's like, unless you get it right here, you're going to go back to prison. And then he's like, you're going to be an ongoing cycle. All right. Yes, Mr. Jones, I understand you, sir. He said, all right, there we go. Your room's upstairs. These are your roommates. All right. So what I did was I kept my head down in there and I shot in the kitchen with this older black dude named Doug. And he was like, look, man, you remember Doug, we got this program called LA Kitchen. It can help you get certified, start clearing up your record so you can build a future. I said, all right, I guess I'll go do it. You know, I ain't never been no chef, but I just cook for, he's like, yeah, you have, you was in prison, you cooked for inmates and you did this and you did that. So you're able to reform yourself and get out into the world. I said, okay. Went to LA Kitchen and a weekend, they transferred me up to their strong foods department, which was, LA Kitchen is a nonprofit organization. So they give food to the homeless, we feed the homeless. But they had another department that was called Strong Foods, where we made baby food and stuff like that to support the nonprofit organization. And I got into it with one of the cats up there, and I met this dude named Junie. And Junie is a outspoken gay man. And one morning, I was like, man, I don't understand this shit. And he was like, well, you need to learn it. And I was like, what? And then when I looked at him, I gave him that look, you know, with that mentality, like, I'll fuck you up. But then when he stood up and I looked at him, I was like, ooh, he was a little, you know. And he's like, I'm only telling you right, because at the end of the day, we're going to go back and forth in prison. And then eventually you'll be somebody's bitch. I said, okay. But he became a best friend. He became like a big brother because the knowledge that he told me led me to where I'm at today. Because he told me, if you work hard enough and go for what you want, you'll exceed. Always further your education. Never let anybody tell you that you're not wanted or that you're not loved, because you love yourself, most importantly. He said, also remember that you can't worry about what everybody else thinks. Run your race. So, all right. So that was my friend, my family. We'll eat lunch together. He'll teach me everything I need to know. And then Junie finally left. When he left, I was like, man, like, you leaving me? You know, he said, I got a job opportunity at a great place out in Pedro called Fred Brown Recovery Services. You know, I'm gonna go work over there. Fuck this shit. Junie was always 100, you know, he didn't care. You know, he had the utmost respects from ex-cons and everybody was in there because he spoke the truth. He didn't sugarcoat shit. He always kept it straightforward to you. So he bounced, you know, we kept in contact, whatever. And eventually LA Kitchen lost funding and we had to close down. So I took my cooking degrees and my knowledge that I had to a mom and pop organization, and I was working in there as their executive chef. I lasted there for about 2 years, and then they happened to close down. While going through all this, I was in a fucked up relationship where every night I was like, I'm gonna kill this chick. I can get away with it Won't nobody know she gone. I'ma say I'm at work. She got one more time to run up on me and tell me I need to cook something. And it's gonna be a misunderstanding. Because the thing was, I worked at a mom and pop. She worked for Kaiser, so she made way more money than me. So she felt that, oh, I could run up and tell them and do this, and wanted to jump at me. And I was raised not to hit women, respect them. So, I was like, I got one more time. And after I lost the job, she really was talking shit. Yep. Shut the fuck up, you fat, ugly, overweight bitch. And her own sister looked at me one day and said, you can kill this bitch. For the both of us. And I'm looking at her sister like, what? I won't tell. Bullshit. I went to prison already. I got that part. When a cop come in there and tell you, just tell me the truth, you be all right, you go home. Bullshit. So I was standing out in Bakersfield, and I'm sitting on the couch one day, and lo and behold, who is this person that calls me? Junie. Say, hey, what you doing, bitch? That's how we talk to each other, okay? That's my big bro. That's how we talk to each other. You better not say nothing wrong to him while I'm standing there, though. So that's how we talk to each other. I said, I'm just laying here. I'm not doing anything. He said, you're on parole? I said, man, that's crazy. They just signed my early release for me to get off parole. He said, good. Can you make your fat ass down here? San Pedro. I said, yeah, sure. What do you want me to do? He said, oh, you got this job. We're looking for a part-time cook here at San Pedro for Abraham Recovery Services, where I told you I was going to work. And, he didn't like explaining himself. He liked to just get cut. Here's the address. Be here tomorrow. Dress for the job you want. I said, okay, no problem. I'll be there. Now, remind you, I stay in Bakersfield. So he told me be here at 8. I was taught by my great-grandfather, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. So I left Bakersfield at 4 that morning to get out here to the Crescent office by 8. So I got out here. I stayed out in the car. Interview happened. I went in, and it was, I was expecting to see Junie. I'm like, he didn't want to call me out here. But it was our HR department, the head cook at the time, and it was actually both our HR departments. So when I went in there, they asked me, I gave them my resume and everything, and I was always told to be truthful about what I put on the resume, even if it is being incarcerated, right? So the head cook looks at the resume, and he's like, he glances, and then he glances back, and he looks at our HR department, and he's like, what's this 5-year gap? And me being an outspoken person, I said, well, man, it should say I was in prison. Because it says it on there, Norco, California, CRC. So he's like, we got 3 other candidates, we'll let you know. And that's the kiss of death to most of us ex-cons. I'm like, oh, let me know, huh? Fuck this shit. They ain't finna call me back. So I leave out. They said, we'll give you a call. And I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. And I walk out, and I hop in my car. I'm headed back to Bakersfield. Junie calls, like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. They said they're going to call me. He's like, well, we need a cook. I was like, well, I don't know, Junie, what you want me to do? I don't know. He's like, oh, okay. Well, remember what I told you. If you get this job, you got it because you want it and you're going to work hard for it. Do what you have to do. This company is a growing company, and you can move up in the ranks. If your ass get in trouble, do not call me. Yeah, period. So I'm driving home, and I see this number I don't know, 310. I'm like, all right, let me answer it. I'm like, hello? Like, hey, this is Chanel calling from Fairground Recovery Services. Chris, can you come back tomorrow and fill out your packet? I said, my packet? She said, yeah, you're hired. I said, whoa. I said, I can come back today. She said, no, I got to prepare everything. Because my ass didn't want to drive way back from Bakersfield tomorrow. I was like, okay. And when I first got here, our kitchen was stationed in the upstairs of 270, where y'all be going to sneak and cook shit when you're supposed to. And my second day there, I was down in the garage organizing things, and this curly haired lady walk up to me and she says, hey, I'm Roxy, how are you? And I extended my hand because, I'm not used to, people walking up hugging a big black man, So she walks up and she said, no, honey, we hug around here. I said, okay. And then I started cooking and doing what I had to do and learning. Everything they did, I learned. When they called, I came. Then I met this loud lady, two loud ladies. God rest one of their souls. One was named Linda, and then the other was Nancy. And I had to train with Juan Carlos, which was the old cook. And we're up there at 5 a.m, and then all of a sudden we're cleaning up, and then I hear at 8 o'clock, Nancy in the house. I'm like, who the hell is that? And I'm looking down the stairs, like, who is this? And all the guys like, Nancy in the house. And I'm like, I was like, who is this chick? Is she over the curly haired lady? Like, is they that scared? So, I started to, cook, do my thing. And, one of the cooks, Adele came to me one day and she said, oh, no good, Chris, no good. Yeah. And I was like, what I do? Like, I was spooked, because I take pride in my cooking. I put heart and soul in it. I don't, just cook y'all anything. She said, thank y'all, appreciate it. So what she told me what I did was, she said, whenever you give the boss lady her food, you always put her sauce on the side for her to dip her chicken in. I was like, what? Yeah, you didn't put no sauce on her chicken. I said, I didn't make the menu. There go my outspokenness again, right? I didn't make the menu, but you know what? I got it. What should I do? And I took in and I learned. Okay, cool. So she said, whenever there's certain things on the menu, the boss don't get this. You call up and you tell her, this is what's on the menu, and she'll tell you if she wants it or not. Again, call up where? We're on the same level, lady. Where am I calling up to? She said, to the office over there. Over where? The office right there. All right, cool. So then one morning I finally got released on my own, right? You can go cook on your own. Oh, cool. And this little Hawaiian little motherfucker was walking around talking about it's time to wake up, guys. It's time to wake up. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Where am I at? Is this prison again? And it was my brother, Matthew McNeese, back there. He was like, hey, I'm Matthew. I'm a volunteer. I work graveyard here. I'm just waking the guys up. I said, oh, I'm Chris. I'm the cook. He's like, all right, cool. And we hit it off. Similar background, same kind of story. We hit it off pretty cool. And what happened was, it was me, Matthew, Nancy, Dave Killingsworth. A lot of you guys don't know Dave Killingsworth. Yeah. Pops and Grandpa. Y'all know who those are. And, I always wanted to learn stuff. And what happened was my leg got infected. It got really bad infected where I couldn't walk on it. And it caused me to be off work for some time. So now I'm at home with the crazy chick again. I'm in and out of hospitals trying to get my leg fixed. And finally I went to one hospital and she left me. She took my wallet, car keys, everything. Yeah. All I had was my cell phone. Yeah. So I'm up in the hospital, ain't no family coming to see me, nobody, my daughter don't know where I'm at, nothing. And I watched Nurse Cindy, was her name. Every time she came in there, because the pain was so bad and it was so infected, I almost lost my leg, she'll come in there with the morphine drip. And then I seen how she took her little badge and she popped it open and was like, okay, let me adjust it and give you more, whatever. So I was gonna take the sucker way out. I was like, nobody loves me, nobody gives a fuck. Why am I here? I don't care. So as I was making my way over to the morphine thing to open it, first call was Matthew. Hey, motherfucker, what you doing? Oh, you look high as hell. He said, I love you, bro, man. If I can make it out there, I'll come see you. Can't wait till you come back. And it made me cry, right? I was like, a complete stranger to family is calling to check on me. So that's family to me. Family isn't always blood. So then I was like, fuck, you know, I got somebody that cared, but I ain't gonna have no job. I probably ain't gonna have nowhere to live fucking with this crazy bitch. Because she was still calling me on the phone talking about some, I'm already selling your stuff and, you know, I hope you die already. On top of my mom relapsing again, telling me, why am I still here? I'm like, man, I want to be here. So finally, I got another phone call. And it was that lady back there in Junie. Said, hey, bud, how you doing? Well, first Junie called me and was like, why the fuck are you not answering your phone? I'm like, yeah, I'm a little busy right now. I'm trying to kill myself right now. Why are you worried about why I'm not answering my phone? He's like, we're trying to FaceTime you. And I'm like, who is this we? You know? And it was him and Ms. Roxy. And she said, hey, you know, as soon as you get out, no matter what, you always got a job here, but you're always welcome here. We love you. You need anything, let us know. I'm like, damn, I started crying again. So now I got two more family members that give a fuck, right? And so I told myself, okay, cool. I need to figure out how to get the fuck out of this hospital and get my shit. Get my shit back right. So I told the nurse, I said, hey, how can I get discharged? She said, well, you need to get up and fucking walk. Because I was in a county hospital, you know. She's like, you need to get up and fucking walk and stop expecting us to do shit for you. How about that? I said, wow. I said, why are you talking to me like that? She said, because you push your buzzer when you're hungry. You talk about your new toothpaste and shit. You want to ask me for your medicine. I ain't your mama. I said, well, fuck you too. And she said, pretty soon you're going to want me to come in there and empty that piss bag. So finally, I was laying there watching Walker, Texas Ranger on TV. And I heard my grandfather's voice come in my head. Now, he dead and gone, right? But, you know, I'm like, I heard, get up. I didn't raise no punk. Grab that chair and walk your ass in this hallway. I said, this is the morphine talking, or Dilaudid. I don't know which one it is, because they gave me Dilaudid. And I was like, what the fuck? That shit, the nurse put it in and said, count to 3, and when I woke back up, it was nighttime. So, you know, I didn't know what the fuck it was talking to me. So I told the nurse, I said, I don't want no more morphine. She said, well, you have to take it. I said, I don't take shit. I don't want it. Because I'm hearing shit. I don't want to face my demon. Because he's already dead and gone. I already fucked up. I said goodbye, but didn't say a proper goodbye, right? So I'm hearing it again. Get up. And who calls me again? Matthew. Bless you. God bless you. Don't sneeze no more while I'm talking, man. That's interrupting the meeting. Matthew called me again and was like, bro, when you coming back to work, man? He's like, I done moved up from volunteer to program assistant. Oh, shit, for real? He's like, yeah, I'm managing my own house. I'm like, okay, good, man. He's like, I love you, man. See you soon. So then I was like, all right, I gotta get up out of here. I grabbed my wheelchair, because they always kept the wheelchair on the side of the bed, because that's how they would lift me out the bed, put me in the wheelchair, and I rolled to the bathroom. So I grabbed my wheelchair, bow, fall face first down. I was like, oh man. And when I reached for the nurse button, I ain't calling this bitch. She was complaining about emptying my pee. She damn sure gonna have a fit, I'm on the floor. So I pulled myself up and I grabbed the back of the wheelchair and I I did the whole little stanky leg over because this was a strong leg. So, I stanky legged it. And then they had this little device where when the wheelchair tried to come out the room, it started going off. So I'm like, I can't take this out the room. What am I gonna do? So I said, fuck, my leg hurt. I already done pulled the morphine thing out my arm because I'm like, I ain't taking that shit no more. I'm seeing shit, I'm hearing shit, it's always hot. Then they come in here with this other shit called Dilaudid that blacks me out. So no, I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here, And I make it out to the hallway with no wheelchair, just holding on to the side. You know what the nurse did? She walked past me looking at her clipboard. So now you walking? And then she stopped and turned. So she said, oh, he walking, y'all. We can discharge him today. I said, all right, cool. I started walking, doing physical therapy, because now I got something to live for, right? I got a job waiting for me. I got in contact with my daughter. She like, Dad, where you at? We trying to come get you. I'm trying to get back, right? So finally I get back. Okay, Serenity, your daddy hears you. All right. I'm gonna speed it up because they just hit me with the time. I get back, I get a little better. I move out here, was still in the bad situation. Then finally I got tired of the bad situation. And, I heard words of wisdom from, Ms. Roxy and Junie that was telling me like, you're better than this. You got to move forward with your life. You got to let go of the past and start moving forward. So when I came back, my cooking job wasn't available because they already replaced me with a different cook. But I was a program assistant with Matthew. But I wasn't any regular program assistant. I wanted to learn everything. Everything they did, everything they talked about. I wanted to interact with the clients. I wanted to share my struggles because we could have similar struggles. I wanted to be part of the organization, of this family that came to get me when I was in my lows. Even if it's just like you said, that phone call is what saved my life because I wouldn't be standing here for you today, right? So I get back, I start, working hard, moving up in the ranks. I'll be out there shooting the shit in this breezeway with Nancy, Matthew, doing our job. But the clients knew when we came on shifts, Matthew and Chris is here, y'all. We play dominoes with the clients, talk to them, hear about their days, try to figure out what we can do to help you guys because we already been through it, right? And along came Miss Piper back there. And I was like, who is this crazy chick? And it became a family. So NA, AA, CA, GA, all of it became a family. It became my family because I was able to learn the person I am today, how I was able to reform, and I see it in a lot of you guys. I was able to meet the mother of my child back there, Lindsay, here at Fred Brown. I started going to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor as well, and also get my AA and Human Development Services. I am now the operations manager of Fred Brown Recovery Services. So with that all being said, we can all make it, right? If we believe in ourselves, good support system, and understanding that we're all different in our own ways, but we can change and make a difference in someone else's lives as well, too. I met my brothers back there, Curtis, Damian, Sean. I watched them come from clients to program assistants. So if you have belief in yourself and dreams, they are possible if you're willing to put in the work and the sacrifice to be where you are today. It took me multiple times going to prison, jail, fucking up, being around the wrong people, being with the wrong female to understand that the life I live now, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And then I had a beautiful 5-month-old. So I'm blessed. Look, there she go back there. So I'm blessed. That's why when I talk to you guys, I tell you guys the real. I don't pull out a textbook and be like, this is what the book says. I tell you the real struggles that I went through, the real experience that I went through, the sacrifices I had to make to be where I'm at today. With that being said, my time is up. My name is Chris, and I'm at it.